Okay, I've got the YouTube recording right now. That's good. Okay, all right, everybody, I'd like to begin this May 2023 Board of Directors meeting today. And first, I'd like to do roll call. Randy Powell here.
Lucinda Albright here.
William Ozenbaugh present.
Susan?
I'm here.
Great. Okay. All right. First, we'd have to begin with the reading of the April Board of Director minutes by Susan. Susan, do you have the minutes for April? Can everybody hear me?
I can.
Oh, okay. Susan, do you have the Board of Director minutes for April to read? I don't think Susan can hear me, so. Oh. I said, do you have minutes to read? No. Okay, I don't think Susan can hear us. Everybody else here?
I can hear
Yes.
you.
Okay, I think Susan's got some technical difficulties because maybe she can't hear us or something. But there was supposed to be a reading of the board minutes by Susan and approval. But I don't think she can hear us. I think she's writing something maybe. Okay, it's not working, I guess. She's got a bad connection or something. Okay, well, I'd like to, since she's not going to read them, then I would say if we got a motion not to approve them at this time, we can probably approve them at a later date.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, we have a second.
I'll second.
Okay, everybody who's going to put a pause on the reading of the April board minutes, say yes, aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Okay, we got three, and I don't think Susan can hear us, so that motion's passed. Okay. All right, I'd like to begin with architectural control. I just want to say I've got a lot of submissions, and that's a good thing, which means people are serious about following restrictions and getting things done the proper way. So I'm just asking, the public still needs to know the restrictions before they submit their architectural request, because I'm seeing a lot of requests where the people have absolutely no idea what's allowed, what's not allowed. So we're wasting a lot of time with that. So I'm asking the public to read the restrictions for your block before you submit a request, and that'll save a whole lot of time. So and some of the people, we've got, I think we got generally about half the people right now haven't paid their 2023 dues. So those people who are not paid up cannot submit an architectural request. So I'm just want to let the public know who's watching us. Make sure we always check to make sure your dues are paid before we accept them. So if your dues aren't approved, I'll let you know that you have to pay your dues up before you can submit the request. So
Randy,
Yeah.
as last night I spoke with Susan, and we have about 70% that has paid.
70% now?
Yes.
Okay, it was about 43 last month, I think.
Yeah.
So that's good. All right, that's a positive thing. And same thing, I said this before, but we got some people trying to just give me a verbal request for architectural control, or snail mail, or sending me something to email, it's got to be submitted via Appfolio. That's our method of choice. It keeps things documented. It keeps a track of what's happening. And it's also used for the approval process. That's where the other committee members send me their approvals, and we keep in contact with the people making the request also. So don't send me an email. If you got a question, send me an email and I'll answer it. But if you're submitting your documents, make sure you submit them via your Appfolio account. Make sure you attach your architectural request form, because a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't send me anything. They just says, I want to build it, bring in a shed, and there's nothing attached to it. So that really slows the process down to, it should take a few days and it ends up dragging out to 2 weeks because I don't have all the correct information to make a decision. And one of my jobs is I have to collect all this information before I even pass it to the committee members, because I just can't throw it out to them without missing a lot of information. So, yeah.
Susan, can you hear us? No.
Oh, hold on here, Sue. Yeah, she's not muted. Okay, well, hold on here. Okay, is that you, KMH? Wait, no, that's not you. I'm not sure which profile you're using.
iPhone is what she's using.
iPhone, oh, there it is. Okay, just like her I put a request to ask her to unmute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
You can hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Sorry about that. I'm out in the middle of nowhere. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Okay, all right, let's get down. We were just going over architectural request forms. We bypassed the reading of the board minutes, but we can get back to that here in a second. Then let me finish the architecture control. Got like 1 or 2 items just. Okay, and I'm also having a lot of people doing things in the neighborhood that don't have architectural requests, never have had one, and they're in violations of restrictions. And I've been contacting several of these people, and I've been giving them ample time to make those violations corrected. If they don't, then we'll have to follow up in some other kind of way. So don't go out there and build structures that are violations, because then we'll have to come back to you on that one. Okay, I'm gonna put a pause on the next item, Harbor Patrol, and go back to Susan. Did you want to read the April Board of Director meeting minutes?
I can. They are very long. Do we want to go through the meeting and do them at the end, or do we want to do them now?
What's everybody feel?
It doesn't matter to me. Either way, they're going to be read.
Either way,
No, they're going to be read one way or the other. So.
Well, the meeting's gonna take the same amount of time to matter if it's now or later. So yeah, let's go back to the item 1 and 1B and read last month's board meeting minutes.
Okay. All right. Just holler if you can't hear me. April 22nd. Hang on 1 second. You know what? I printed off the POA meeting minutes, not the BOD meeting minutes. If somebody got access that they can print them off and read them, I apologize.
Yeah, I don't have the capability to do that right now. I don't have a printer with me. Yeah. But okay.
Well, I'll do it at the end when I get through all my stuff, and then I'll
Yes.
pull them up on the computer, okay?
Okay, sounds
I
fine.
printed off the wrong one, my fault.
All right, no problem. Okay, we'll go to the next item, which is the Harbor Patrol for myself here. I just want to say that we got a lot of suspicious activity in the neighborhood. We got people going up and down the roads. Some of them might be legitimate. I mean, there is some tax sales happening here shortly, so. But I'm asking neighbors to keep on anybody that looks suspicious, doing anything suspicious, and report it. I also encourage anybody who has cams outside their house to look at those once in a while and see if you see any suspicious activity. So we got a problem with some speeding in the neighborhood. The main drag, Forest Road, is 25. Pretty much all the side roads are 15 miles an hour. And I've seen people go past me doing like 30, 35. So, and also with the golf carts also, they're coming by pretty quick. We got kids in the neighborhoods, you know, grandkids coming by, people backing out of the driveways. So I'm asking everybody to abide by the speed limits. Remember, it's 15 miles an hour on the side roads. It's 25 on Forest. So, and also I want to remind the people on the golf carts that there's rules to riding a golf cart. You have to be 16 years old or above. Basically, you got to be eligible for driver's license to drive these things. I'm saying children out there, you know, 8, 9 years old driving. I know they may have an adult in the passenger seat, but it's still illegal according to the county commissioners. Okay, that's the county commissioners authorized to drive golf carts in the neighborhood, but it comes with restrictions also. So no children under 16 driving golf carts in the neighborhood. And that's the way it's always been. So please abide by that. Loose dogs in the neighborhood. It's getting warmer. We got a lot of loose dogs running around. I sent a notice to one dog owner who's been chasing people. And I pretty much told them if the dog's seen, that they're going to get a violation notice and get a fine for it. And every time the dog is seen outside, it's a separate violation. It's just not one violation, and they get a free pass for all the other times. So if anybody sees a violation, I really highly suggest they take a picture of the dog, because many times they say, that's not my dog, I don't know what to talk about. But if you can provide a photograph of this dog in the location and it is their dog, then they can't rebut that. So just some happenings in the neighborhood. Yeah, going back to the crime thing, we still got a lot of crime in the neighborhood. It's happening. We got the police coming in the neighborhood, doing searches. So everybody just needs to be aware of what's happening around them. You know, that's pretty much common sense right there. Anything that you can write down or observe would help greatly in curbing some of this activity in the neighborhood. Okay, and getting to the trash, we're getting up on Memorial Day weekend coming up here soon. Normally we have a dumpster pickup on Fridays and Mondays normally. Okay, Memorial Day weekend, we are scheduled to have a long dumpster, a roll off dropped by the dumpster area. Now with all the construction work down there, we probably want to make sure they got a good place to put it. So, but I'm just reminding everybody that the dumpster is not for construction material. It's not for the yard waste, patio sets, tires. It's still for household waste. So no construction material in the roll off. Same with the smaller ones. So if you're caught dumping in there, you're probably going to be asked to pull it back out, or you may see it sitting on your front doorstep. Or if you're don't even live in the neighborhood, we could turn you in for a fine for $200. So just a reminder, household waste in the dumpsters and the roll-offs. So anybody got quick questions about what I've just gone over with everybody? Just refresh everybody's memory.
A reminder not to overfill those dumpsters, to try to put it in a dumpster that's not overfull.
Yeah, they won't take them if it's heaping over, they will not take them. So we've been at our plenty times moving from one dumpster to another, trying to balance them out a bit. So, and yeah, don't leave things sitting outside the dumpster on the ground either. Make sure they're in the dumpster. So I appreciate that. Next item, we got the Vice President, Susan.
Okay. I'm going to do the income statement first, the current finances. Right now, as of last night, actually, excuse me, as of this morning, in the general fund, we had $130,000, $877.76. The road fund, we have $57,000, $401.30. Total back dues prior to 2022 received this year currently is $10,139.09. Back dues received for 2022 this year, 2027, $2,027.35. Total of 2023 dues received is $53,712.13. Total of all funds received to date is $68,009.89. And I could hear you all talking earlier when I was trying to get connected. We have collected about 80% of the 85,000 we needed to get through next year. So we are not too far away. We had a very large payoff of a large back due that really helped to bump up that 10,000 plus balance. That really helped to carry us. So I'm not worried. We are much farther along than what we were a month ago. So I feel pretty good what we've collected so far. And I am getting calls still every day for help to get on Appfolio, wanting to know what they can do to get their dues caught up. I've had a few people set up a couple of partial payments. People are wanting to pay, and I think, and we're probably going to get into this shortly, I think they see the work being done on the roads and something happening, and I think it's kind of motivated some people to want to pay their dues since they see some physical evidence of something happening with their money. So that's my opinion on that. Well, let's go ahead and vote on those figures, the income statement for now, and then I can move on to the next.
Okay,
And they're approved.
we have more motion. We have a second.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, raise hand, say aye.
All right.
Okay, I see unanimous vote, passed. Okay,
The delinquency report, there'll be an updated one that will be put on the website and on the board on the 1st of June. There's a lot of people that probably don't need to be on there, but unfortunately I can't get their name off of there until the 1st of the month. So that will be updated on that day so that if you've paid, your name comes off of that list. I wanted to chat about moving forward, maybe on some liens on some people that have gone over a certain threshold. It's not too terribly expensive to file liens. It's not hard, it's a little tedious, but Lucinda and I talked shortly last night that she and I, over the next week, maybe the week after, because she's getting ready to get the pool open, but we are going to try to make some phone calls to some people that don't have an extremely large balance, and maybe we can encourage them to pay. Maybe people that haven't opened their Appfolio, maybe still in a manageable dollar amount to get them to pay. So I'm going to try that before I file liens. I am not afraid or opposed to filing liens if that doesn't generate some more. 80% to me, when you were looking at 43% a month ago, I think that's fabulous. That's almost double from where we were a month ago. And I'm very encouraged by that. So Lucinda's willing to help me to reach out to some people over the phone and see if we can't maybe generate some more people to get their dues paid before going to the lien option. And I still have people calling saying, I didn't get my statement in the mail. These people obviously aren't opening emails, or we don't have an email for them. So many people have been giving me emails. Yesterday, I think it was yesterday, I noted that Appfolio is about 66%, 66% of our membership or whatever we have on there has been opened and activated, if I understand that correctly. So it's creeping up. So we're making a little bit of progress. I'm going to, even though the deadline for the dues payments was April 30th, I'm going to be up at the office one more day, and I'm going to do it next Saturday during the holiday weekend from 9 to 12. I'm going to see if Tony Neese will help me put a sign, make a sign to put up the entrance. I'm hoping that maybe some part-timers that are here for the holiday weekend will see that, and I'll put it on the web, and I'm going to text and email to try to get some people to come in. But I'm going to do that next Saturday morning for 3 hours to try to get some more dues in there and get some things paid. Are we on agreement? Is that okay with everybody?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes,
Okay. I mean, there'll be people in and out up there. And what time does the pool open on Saturdays, Lucinda?
Isn't it 11?
I think it is. So maybe we'll have some people that want to go to the pool that have to pay their dues. And they can come in and pay their dues. So that's what I'm going to work on next week. I'm going to try to get some of those many calls as I can made as possible. So that'll be next Saturday. I put it out there that we received our renewal offer for directors and officers insurance coverage. That is with an agent that we moved. We had an agent that is very hard to communicate, contact, get return calls from. So we moved our liability insurance to a new agent with Farmers. I've already tried to contact the agent on this directors and officers policy, and we're kind of going through the same thing. She doesn't respond very well. So I already called where our liability insurance is and asked that agent if he would take over that policy. And he said yes, but they are in the process of searching out a couple other carriers to see if they can get us a similar policy and maybe save us a little money. So he said he would get back to me by Tuesday or Wednesday. So we're still within time frame before our June 1 renewal.
Okay.
So we're gonna move to a new agent, and he's trying to get us a little bit better. He said if we can't get a better policy, he can move the one we have and take over as the agent. I just gotta facilitate the paperwork on that. Tony Neese lives across the street from me, and he is doing a fabulous job on the signs. Don Taylor, I don't know where he got it, but he gave him some big, huge sheets of metal, and he is doing a great job on those new boards that are going to go down Forest. So hopefully those will be up before Memorial weekend. No bids have been received on those properties. I did have a gentleman that called me yesterday. He asked if anyone had bid. He said, can I send you a bid by email? And I said, I wish you could, but you can't. That's against the rules. And he said, well, will you call me after the meeting? He said, I'm out of town and I can't get there. So I have somebody that wants to bid on the 2 lots. So I said, if we don't get anything, I'll let you know. And he's going to send a bid in. He wants to bid on those 2 lots. So I told him, unfortunately, if it's not here by the meeting, we can't do it. You can't email it to us, but we have someone that's very interested. That being said, since we lowered the price, except for this gentleman, did we want to consider lowering the starting bid any at all, or leave it where it's at for now?
Well, I'd say leave it where we already lowered it.
Yeah,
Leave it where it's at the moment.
okay. I mean, it's only been a month,
Yeah.
people are now starting to look around, so I mean, I agree with that, if everybody else does.
That's fine.
Okay.
And I wonder if there's a way we can, is that lot marked at all? Because we've got people running around the neighborhood now looking at, the county sale lot signs, stuff like that. If we had a sign up on that one, like a
That might
for
be
sale by-
helpful.
yeah, for sale by owner, contact the harbor.
Yeah,
And yeah, I mean, that might, with all the extra traffic in the neighborhood, that might help
okay,
add some interest to those lots too.
okay.
Yeah, I've got a sign I could put up today. The only thing is, I know generally where it is. It's right at the intersection there, Cherokee and all, and Timber. But I don't know exactly where the markers are, the pins are in that property. But I can generally put a smack right in the middle of the two lots. And that should be suffice.
I
Yeah,
think
that should be okay. And
Yeah,
like I said, hopefully that'll generate some interest in those too.
okay.
Yeah, especially if it's not attached to taxes or a lien or anything, that might be something people might be interested in, Yeah. One thing I wanted to tell you, that wasn't on here, I had to pay $300 to the CPA, for the 1022H form that was filed. And they initially did an extension because it went past the deadline. I don't remember what I think it was April 18th. I'm trying to remember now. I didn't write down the date, but anyway, they did do an extension and then they mailed everything to me and I mailed those forms. We didn't owe anything, but they still had to be filed. So there was a zero balance due to the government, but I had to pay the CPA $300 for doing that work. So I did that since the last meeting.
When are we gonna be out from under this issue that occurred back in like 2019 or so?
Well, kind of goes back to, we said at a meeting a couple times ago, Becky suggested that we look for a new CPA. I have left half a dozen messages in the last week for them to call me to ask that very question. And I had a couple other questions in regards to any future filings if we stay with them. So I'm a little frustrated with the communication there. So at this point, I don't know. All I know is we were told there may be a few late notices, but no hard number or anything. So I don't know why, especially now that tax season, the valid tax season is past, why I guess they're working on extensions now, but I can't even blame it just on that because this is normal. They just don't return calls very much or very often. So very frustrated with that. So I think before we probably need to do any other future filings, we may want to consider a new CPA. And if anybody has anybody that they can recommend, we might want to look into that for the future. Go ahead, Lucinda, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I agree. I think we need to look, at another one.
Yeah,
There has to be communication.
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry, we're paying you pretty good money to take care of us, albeit, it's because of some past history that we're in this spot, but at the same time, we need communication, especially when there's, transition and moving board members and stuff. We need to stay up on that. Two other things that I have in my section. I sent out a message, and my apologies if I haven't looked at my Facebook for the board. One of the members wants to put flags on the main road and around the community center for the holiday week. She wanted to see if that was a problem or if she had to request it formally. And I told her I would check during the meeting today and get back to her. And I know William said he didn't have a problem with it. I think it's okay. I don't know that it's something we have to formally vote on, but if we do, I want to make it the way it's supposed to be and get back to her. Did you see that post, William or not William, but Randy and Lucinda?
Yeah,
You did see it?
read it, but I
Okay.
heard it though. Yeah. Yeah, but most of those are mostly in the easement areas, correct?
I would think, yeah, she must have put it along the road, and I think as long as she picks them up afterwards, you know, and they're not just laying everywhere, whatever. You know,
Right.
there'll probably be some kids that might come around and mess with them, but I think it's a great idea. I think it shows, I think she's showing some pride in the community there, and I don't see anything wrong with it at all.
Yeah, I agree. As long as she comes by and picks them up afterward.
All right. And I'm not sure if she's watching this or not, but I'll reach out to her after we get off the meeting. The one other thing I had, actually, I'm going to save this for the pool section. I'll let Lucinda do her pool stuff, and then I'll bring this up when she gets done with her stuff. I think that's all I have for right now.
Okay, well, next item is pool and park, Lucinda.
Okay, thanks, Randy. Our opening date is going to be May 26th. It is on a Friday of Memorial Day weekend. Jean's Aqua will also start doing diving lessons that day. So we're opening up with a bang. We're going to be busy. We do not have inspection results yet. The health department has not been out, but you can see the drain on the deep end. So, and our bathrooms are finished, so we should be good. I still need volunteers to help run the gate, test the pool chemicals so that we can keep the pool open. I have a few that can, and even if it's just one day a week, that would be great. Let's see what else. Oh, on toys, this year toys will not be able to be stored at the pool, and there will not be any swim masks available for the kids to use. It is a health department said that we cannot let the kids be sharing masks. So this year you will need to supply your own swim mask and your own toys. That way, you know, they're yours and nobody else germs or whatever is getting on them. And also, if you bring toys from the lake, please make sure you clean them before you use them in the pool. That includes your life jackets. We do not need any bacteria to be in our pool this year. Randy, I'm going to turn over the bathroom update to you.
Okay, well, like I say, we had the Bettis family had volunteered to do some renovations in the men's shower area. Of course, you know, the men's shower was probably the worst part of the whole bathrooms. It was leaking, had no knobs on it at all, but it was gutted and it was replaced with some black tile that was donated about a year ago. So we have the black walls and we have the smaller tiles on the floor. There is a built-in seat on the one end. It is also tiled. We decided to tiled to make it sanitary and keep it from rotting, that kind of thing. I went, and also all four of the faucets in the men's and women's has been replaced. Drains have been replaced. And today I went up there and did a good cleanup on the men's side. Got all the construction dust and material out of there. Everything's been wiped down and on. Looks nice. And the bathrooms are currently open, both of them, men's and women's, for public use. I just ask that people take care of facilities. Me personally, if I see anybody abusing those facilities, such as you know, throwing mud in the sinks or tearing things up in there, I'm inclined to get with you guys and decide to maybe ban them for the remainder of the year if they potentially vandalize that area up there, because it took a lot of work to get this thing and the shape it is right now. And so I'm asking everybody to take care of the property. It's for your use. You know, I would say that we spent, as far as POA funds, we spent about $585 probably total on materials. Is that about right, Susan?
It was a little bit more than that. It was around 650.
650.
Yeah, so a little bit more than that, but I go back to, we're doing well on the dues. We still have a little ways to go, and then we had that big payoff from somebody.
Yeah.
that was a huge help and it came at the right time. So I was
Yeah.
very grateful for that.
Okay, well, it's good we had people that donate time and money both to get this thing done. So
Yeah.
that kind of well, it's for everybody else. It's for the whole community. So the entire community would be able to benefit from the bathroom looking a little better. It looks better than I ever remember seeing it. I know the floor drains were cleared out too, because the floor drains were kind of plugged up. That's another item they did. Some of the rust areas inside were sanded down and spray painted with the galvanized steel looking type paint to make it blend in with the existing walls. It's a lot of the rust. I mean, it's not a full gut job. It doesn't look brand new, but it looks a lot better and it's done in years. So just take care of it, please.
Also, Randy, you said the pools, bathrooms are going to be open. I have some women that are down there now painting the men's bathroom, giving the stalls and everything a new paint job. And so they will be closed. The men's side will be closed. And so if you go down there and you try to get in, the bathrooms will be closed for a day or so, just so the paint can dry.
Just the paint,
Awesome, that's great.
just the stall, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. They paint the women's stalls also because it's saying it's the same ugly blue color.
I don't know, but I can speak with them about doing that.
Oh, okay. All right, that,
They
That's
came
great.
in here
that'd
to
be good.
go down and paint today, so.
Oh, okay. Anything else on pools and parks area?
Just that, we have somebody that has donated the use of a cell phone that'll be designated just for the pool. Susan, you have more info on this?
A little bit. The phone is the easy part. There was someone that was going to add it to their current cell phone bill for a small nominal fee. Well, when that actually happened, the whole story changed on the cost, but we have done a little research and we can get a phone for not very much. And we have another member that has offered to purchase the phone, and we could do a prepaid phone for about, we were quoted $20 a month. And it's talk and text only. They can't get on the internet or do anything foolish with it. You know, it'll strictly be a pool phone. They can call out as needed. And I think it'll serve our purposes much better than Lucinda and I both did some fact finding for maybe using the landline just short term. And what was it, 5-year contract they wanted us to sign to
2-year through the internet company.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And then we got a couple other, I mean, just ridiculous things that would have cost a fortune. So we've talked to the health department 2 or 3 different times. I've talked to them. My husband made some calls on my behalf. And I think Lucinda may have talked to somebody that a cell phone is acceptable as long as it's strictly for pool use only. It's not somebody bringing their cell phone. And I mean, what we don't want to run into is someone forgetting their phone at home, or they didn't charge it, or something like that. So that phone will be at the pool, designated for pool use only, talk and text only. So I don't know that they'll need texting, but we do have an option, and we will get that resolved before the pool opens next week. One other thing in regards to the pool, I wanted to remind everybody as we ramp up here is we cannot have alcohol, not only at the pool, but in the park area. There are signs up there that reinforce this. So just a reminder, I know that there are a lot of people out there that want to do that, but it's a family zone, and we're trying to keep it that way. We're trying to keep it safe. So please do not bring alcohol up there and just set up the situation that has to be dealt with. We don't want to bring attention to it. We hope that you'll help us out with that, cooperate.
Well, we went through that last year, and it was mostly it was an insurance issue that the insurance riders will not cover anything if there's alcohol involved.
Exactly.
Put an entire POA up for liability issues.
Yeah.
I noticed that today there were 2 beer bottle caps sitting up at the front of the office area. Probably today, is that correct, Lucinda?
Yes,
So
I found one
somebody,
in the pool.
yeah, okay, but so somebody was most likely roaming around for last night, popping up beers. But if they're they're called, they're gonna be escorted out of that. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Well, what'd she say?
That's all I have for pools and parks. unless-
Okay.
Oh, I want to think of the polls to that little 911 sign we have out there that's plastic coated. You probably need to put the Owl Drive address on there too.
Okay,
Yeah, we have to make sure we have our address, because when you're calling, they're gonna ask for address, and we need to make sure it's right there on the sign, ready to
That's
go.
a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually a requirement too, so. Wouldn't be too much putting an address on that thing.
Okay. All right. That's all I had for pools. So the phone and the alcohol, I just wanted to remind everybody, please try to cooperate with that rule. We would appreciate it.
Okay, just want to say, everybody, to use the pool, you gotta be a paid up member. If you're not paid up, you will not be in the pool. So, guests are allowed. They have to be validated guests. I mean, like me personally, if I'm sitting there and some stranger walks up and says, Joe Smith says I can come in. I mean, it's that validated? No, because I don't even know who that person is. They're not a member. So you need to make sure that you let the attendants know that they are your guests. I mean, drop them off. Say, these are my guests. They're going to be swimming here today. Great. I mean, but they have to be validated. We got a lot of people that are from South County that just show up there thinking it's a public pool, and it's really not. It's for members primarily and their guests. So.
I
All right.
don't have the rules in front of me right now, but correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that you have to stay with your guest. I don't think you can drop them off.
Well,
I think you have to enter with your guest.
okay, Lucinda, you want to add to that? I mean,
it depends on their age. Like, if it is an older adult, we do encourage the owners to stay that are with them. But most of the time, you hardly ever find anybody that does drop them off and leave. We've not ran into that. But I'm going to say that, you're right. They should stay unless it's, somebody that's really elderly. Like I had one man last year that was real elderly. And it was just way too hot for him to stay. So his young grandchildren that were teenagers, they were old enough to be there by themselves. We let them stay under my supervision.
Okay.
yeah, and if they're under 12, they cannot be by themselves at any time without an adult. If they're under 12. They have to have an adult with them at all times. If adult gets up just to go inside to use the bathroom, or all their kids got to get out of the pool
Out
too.
of school, right.
So they have to have the adult with them if they're under 12. So, okay, I guess that concludes that portion here. Next, we got William. I know William's been real busy working on roads this past month. Go ahead, William.
Okay, so I wanted to give some breakdown on what we've spent so far, as far as roads, with APAC, that's material. We've spent $37,686.33. Fuel for the equipment that we've been using, $320.14. I've reported on this before, but tin horns, we spent $1,552.50 on the tin horns that are put in so far. Basically, we're looking at we do have some billing that hasn't come in yet for this past week, 5/15 through 5/19. It was 36 loads of material from both APAC and Kempstone. We're guessing it's going to be about 15,000, but I think that's kind of high because most of that material was pressure run, which is the cheaper material. And we're kind of basing that off of the previous ones where we got that many loads, but a lot of those were either clean gravel, stuff like that. So I think that'll be a little bit lower, but that billing will come in Monday evening. We'll actually get billed from those places in. Did somebody have something, question, comment?
I was going to add to that from last meeting. Remember with the snafu with the delivery, we have almost $4,000 that we got in gravel for free last month because of an issue with APAC and a delivery issues.
Yeah,
You know, we have paid out a lot of money. The money was there. I think a lot of people are happy to see something done, but what's not included those totals, and I forgot to give it to you, William, was I wrote down that it was an estimated $3,750 in free gravel last month.
Right. And just for some explanation, if somebody wasn't tuning in before, just to be on, keep everybody up to date. Basically what happened was we had APAC bringing gravel in. They were given instruction to stop bringing gravel. There were some communication issues between the dispatchers, the drivers, us, and they ended up bringing, I don't even remember how many loads it was, but I mean, they basically had gravel about a foot thick on one
I
road.
think
They
it was
just kept-
like 13 or 14 extra loads, maybe
Okay,
even
yeah.
15. It was a lot.
Yeah, there was a lot of gravel, but so I got with the gentleman at APAC and we had a discussion about it. He went back and listened to their phone calls. Basically we agreed that, hey, there's some communication issue going on here. Both of us have to do better. So we basically split what was brought. We were able to use the gravel. It just created a lot more work to get it moved around where we wanted it. But so basically we split what was delivered, and they ate the cost of $3,000 or better of gravel on that particular trip. Let's see, equipment rental. So far we've only used the backhoe 1 hour. Dug some ditches out at the front of the entrance. Part of the issue was the water was basically missing the whole ditch coming out to the middle of the road. It would go down to in front of the harbor store, and it's eating the gravel away from the edge between the concrete and the gravel on their lot. So I dug that ditch out, part with the backhoe, part by hand, all the way, almost all the way down to Indian Road. That side's draining better, but we did start getting some water flowing to the other side now. So that side of the ditch is going to have to be addressed. The tin horn at the end of Ford is crushed. What I'm going to try to do is just park the backhoe on top of it and grab it with the bucket and see if I can't straighten that out some. With the backhoe being on top of it, it won't rip it out of the ground. So
It's just
hopefully I get that
crushed on
straightened
the
out.
end.
I'm sorry.
It's just crushed on the end only or something?
Yeah, just on the like if you're going up Ford Road on the left side, right by the guard shack,
Yeah.
it's crushed down right there. And I think it's not like completely closed off, so I can get a tooth from the backhoe bucket in there, and I think I can just lift it up and straighten it up with the backhoe parked on top of it, so it'll just bend it back up.
Yeah.
If you can, a lot of times if you can get those so far where you can get a bottle jack in there, you can use a bottle jack to open it back up.
I just used one of those recently to fix one.
Yeah, so I mean that's a possibility to fix that. But so on equipment, we've got an hour on the backhoe. We've got 37.8 hours on the skid steer, for a total of $2,129 for rental fees for everything that we've done so far.
Yeah.
All those total together, total to date is that we spent on the roads is $56,687.97. That's including what we're estimating of the $15,000 for the gravel from 515 to 519. So it could be a little bit lower. I'm guessing it's going to be. And I think from here on out, we need to kind of, obviously we're not going to do anything this next weekend because it's holiday weekend coming up. Kind of regroup and there are some roads, the Elkhorn, I believe that's, I never say that road right, Red Oak or basically the triangle across Indian Road. That needs some attention over there. Then we have like Skyview, Overland, Spaniard Creek. All those are going to need ditch work. So the plan moving forward is going to be to start working that stuff, get the ditches cleaned out, see if we need tin horns anywhere, get all that stuff in before we even order gravel for those roads. So what we'll do from here on out is, find those problem areas, pick them out, go fix the issues that we're having, then bring gravel in, complete the road and move on. So things will start scaling back a little bit. There's not going to be as much trucks coming in. We've got, I mean, those guys that were volunteering worked their tails off and,
Yep.
and got a lot of stuff done.
Great job.
Yeah. I do want to say, you know, along the lines of, you know, taking care of the bathroom, things like that. It is a holiday weekend coming up. The place is probably going to fill up. I get that. Please respect the work that these guys have done on this road and your money that we've spent to do it. You know, the side-by-sides running around, don't be peeling out in the gravel. The cars run around, don't be peeling out in the gravel. Take it easy. You know, 15-mile-an-hour speed limit on most of the roads. Please abide by that. And this, you know, this work that these guys work so hard to get done will last. Once we get the rest of it in, you know, basically I want to be down to maintenance. We'll have to, you know, have a piece of equipment every once in a while to go smooth some things out. And, you know, that'll be it. You know, we're really close to being down to maintenance only.
I got a question for you. Hey,
Yes.
there was a steamroller a few days ago out there off of Gruber. Was that something we did or a private issue?
That was probably a private. We didn't bring a roller in at all. There was week before last, Billy Bradshaw did get the county out here with the graders, and they run graders on a lot of the crusher run that we were struggling with because it was so wet. Some of the big hills, things like that. And I would like to reach out to him again and see if some of these, you know, if they'd be willing to come out, if we purchase the material to bring the equipment out and do some of these big steep hills. Like, I mean, Harbor, the county did that one. That thing's holding together. It's looks the same way it did when they left it. If we can get some help and their expertise on that, on some of these big hills that are going to be concerning, no matter what we put on them, you know, if we can get them to do something like that in the Harbor, I mean, you know, Skyview's got a huge hill over there that, you know, I don't, me personally don't know what to do with yet. It's not bad at, you know, at the hill itself, but you know, if we could get it resurfaced and done the way Harbor Drive was, I mean, that road's holding together good. There's several of them throughout the neighborhood that they did. That's just the one that comes to mind. So that'll be part of the next phase of where we're going. Trying to get some more complete final fixes on some of the big hills that, I mean, West Canyon Rock. I haven't been over to, it's either Atoka or Arrowhead to see that one. I was told they did some work over there. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet, but I need to go check that one out. But, you know, the West Canyon Rock on, let's see, I guess off the forest side, it's got a hill that's got, you know, huge boulders in it and holes. And I mean, the UPS guy goes down it and the truck looks like it's going to fall over every time he goes down it. But, you know, if we can get all that stuff lined out eventually, I mean, that's not a priority, but, you know, all the roads will be completely done out here and we just go to maintenance.
Yeah, I got a question. I mentioned it earlier about the roll off for the Memorial Day weekend. Do we probably want to have it on the north side of the dumpsters? The south side now has drainage ditches. What would you say?
Yeah, I haven't been able to locate a T-post driver yet. If I don't know if any of you guys got one that I could borrow real quick. I'm gonna mark that that one tin horn that we put in there right off the corner of the that little tractor barn or whatever. You know, basically keep people from driving off that edge and crushing that tin horn. But I don't have a T-post driver yet, so I have the T-posts here. I've got reflective tape to put on them. I just need a T-post driver to stick them in the ground.
I'll check with Tony. He might have one.
Okay.
And now that you're mentioning that tin horn by the dumpsters, you know, the side on the resident side between the Van Dykes and that other gentleman,
Yeah.
they never dug a trench. And so when that tin horn dumps out at that other end on the resident side, there's just a big hole and it has nowhere to go. And the only reason I took note of it is when I went up there to do something the other day after all the rains, I was like, wow, I thought they were gonna dig a trench. And I think the man Dyke slept after he assisted with all that. I don't think that like it drains off from the trash side, but the water has nowhere to go. I like when it comes out of the hole, it goes up and then out the hole, but there's no trench for it to drain out of that hole.
Okay,
And I think eventually it's going to start backing up into that tin horn if it doesn't
will.
have a little bit of drainage to get it out of there.
It will for sure. And that's, I'll look at that because kind of where I'm at right now is we need to start doing backhoe work now. The roads that we haven't hit yet all need ditch work. You know, we'll start the backhoe work now, or well, it'd be after next weekend. But start the backhoe work, get the ditches drained out. But I'll go check out that spot, see what we can do to get that one to drain too. I know I got an issue that we put some gravel over on Elkhorn. There was a spot there that, you know, basically just held water all the time. It doesn't look like, it looks like just a low spot. There's no water running across the road. I dug out one side of it so it would actually drain. That did well. They put gravel on it, and then it just filled right back up. I think we just need more. We need to level that off some more when we go do the work over on that side, and we'll get that issue taken care of. But I'll look at the tin horn at the trash too.
Okay.
And that's basically all I've got, unless there's other questions or.
I would just like to add, talking about the volunteers, you know, the gentlemen that have been helping us, it's not their everyday job. And I don't
True.
think people realize how taxing physically it is to sit in those units. The vibration and the strength it takes to keep those machines doing whatever they're doing. And I know we have worn out a couple people, just worn them flat out. So
Yeah.
thank you to them again. I can't even say thank you enough. So
Yeah,
it's a
huge
hard
thank you.
job to do. Even in sitting in machinery, it's a hard job to do.
Right. And that like that skid steer has air blower in it and stuff like that. So it's circulating air. But I mean, you're basically sitting in a greenhouse going, you know, it's got airflow, but it's hot. It's, you know, vibration, it's bouncing around. It, you know, those guys, I mean, if, you know, we've mentioned who they all are. If, you know, if you see them out and about, thank them, because they've worked their
Absolutely.
tails off to get where we're at.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I want to appreciate, put a thanks out there for all the volunteers who've been chipping in around the neighborhood. So, next, we have some new business items.
Randy,
Yeah.
do you want me to go ahead and do the
Oh,
notes from the last meeting? It's only 2 pages. I was looking at 3 pages because I had the wrong meeting notes. So my apologies again for doing that. I printed off the wrong thing.
yes.
Okay, I'll go ahead and do this. April 22nd, 2023 board meeting. We introduced newly appointed board member Lucinda Albright. She filled the pool parks position. Roll call: Randy Powell, myself, Susan Hunt, William Ossabaugh, and Lucinda were all present. We shared that former treasurer Becky Barber had resigned of her own accord from the board, and we are not going to replace her at this time until the next election. We read the March board of director meeting minutes, and they were all approved by the 4 board members present. Architectural review on that date. Reminder: any modification, new additional structures must be approved and must be approved. Structure must be placed where approved or required to move. New units must be approved before installed. Fines will be incurred if they do not comply. Warmer weather, there's more dogs on the loose. Reminder that dogs, or any pet, dogs and cats, must be fenced or on a leash at all times. The board will begin enforcement of violations and fines. President will go to the next step for those who do not voluntarily comply. Harbor Patrol by Randy Powell. Warmer weather, more reports. Advise members to be diligent to keep alert any unknown persons and suspicious activity. At the last meeting, there were gunshots recently fired due to a dog being put down on one side of the park. Shooting in the residential areas is dangerous. Our president has requested that no guns be discharged in the harbor residential areas. Reminder, dumpsters are for household trash only. Please report any strangers using or dumping. Get a license plate or a description if possible. Do not overflow the dumpsters with trash. It won't be picked up, and it is for household trash only. Report by the secretary. In March, I had suggested possibly keeping Becky Barber on as consultant for Appfolio. She stepped down, so that obviously that was no longer an issue at that point, and she declined to take on that role anyway. So that was squashed in the last meeting. The treasurer report at the last meeting, general fund had 115,624.94. Road fund 87,238.03. Total back dues prior to 2022 received was 4,020.98. Back dues received for 2022 this year was $1,656.75. Total of 2023 dues received as of April 22nd was $40,534.30. Total of all funds received $47,132.92. All four board members approved the income statement at that meeting. Randy Powell will now be the new second signer for our bank account. Randy and I both went to the bank. I think it was about a week after that. We took care of that situation. I am in the process of trying to get my notary reinstated. It's kind of a long process, but I am working on that. And I was at the office for the last time on 4/28. The Pool and Parks report was given by Lucinda. Pool chemicals had been ordered and were in stock. We need some cement work done still at the pool. Need volunteers that might have any experience in that area. In April, at that point, we had no volunteers to help with the pool. We have since, obviously, I already talked about that. We have a few, but we need more. We need more people to step up if you're available to do. Here's test become certified. So need to make sure, remember that for anybody that can volunteer. The bathroom repair update at that time, we were at the beginning of the tear out. There was a member that has volunteered to do repairs to the shower. The labor is being donated. Materials was being paid for that had not already been donated. We are going to halt repairs after the men's bathroom is done. The women's bathroom, we decided really didn't need much. Did you say we replaced faucets over there? Did I hear that correctly? Okay.
Faucets and
So
drains, yeah.
other than that, we're gonna slow down on the bathrooms and see if we have to do anything else that's imperative at this time, once that's all the way complete. Still looking for some members that might have a little bit of plumbing experience for a couple issues that may need a little attention still. Roads and utilities by William. We provided a billing status for road work since the previous meeting. During the last delivery of gravel, APAC comped us for 10 loads. So going back to my notes, we got
10
comped
loads,
for
okay.
10 loads of gravel due to some miscommunication. At that point, we had done 15 loads of gravel and installed 4 tin horns around the community. We agreed to use Steve Farrell's equipment. He was getting familiar with that equipment at the time. At that time, we talked about considering additional equipment in the future to include a roller. I guess that's what prompted the roller question. So we have not brought in a roller or paid or rented for a roller at this point. New business, we determined that today was going to be our next BOD meeting, and then we had a motion to close the first and second motion to close the meeting. Do we want to vote, get a motion to vote approval on those minutes?
Okay,
I will make a motion.
give a second.
A second.
Okay, all in favor of approving the minutes from last month? Raise your hand, I say aye.
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 Aye. Okay, again, we got 4 yays. Oh, that's good, passed. Okay, now you want to get into some new business. First of all, I guess we're going to establish a June meeting, time and place. Okay, remember, we're going to have a public meeting next month, because next month is when people will be nominating the 2 vacancies we have, the 2 board vacancies that we will have in July. Of course, Lucinda, it's up to you if you want to put your ring in to get elected into that. So I'll let you make that decision. But there will be two positions will be turning over. The current position that Becky vacated, and Lucinda's position will be up for renewal. And so we want to probably combine this together with the other meeting. I'm looking at June right now. What works for everybody? Want a Saturday or Sunday? Or
Saturday's better for me.
Saturday?
I
Okay,
was hoping the 27th, if that works for everybody, because the 13th and 20th, I'm out of town both of those days.
27th is a Tuesday.
Yeah.
So, hold on a second. I'm looking at May, sorry.
Okay.
Oh, no, I'm
What, the 17th or the 24th or the last
24th, I meant the 24th, my apologies.
24th?
Yeah.
Okay. We want to have, okay, 24th at the community center. Okay, we want to have probably 1 hour for our meeting, and then the other meeting directly after. So what time would you like to start the board meeting on the 24th?
You do want to do 1 and 2 o'clock, or?
Yeah, I'm good between 1 and 2 on the 24th for the board meeting. And then immediately following that will be the public meeting. Everybody, okay, is everybody good with that time and date?
I'm
Yeah,
good.
you said those are Saturdays, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
24th is a Saturday.
Yeah, because that'll be an in-person meeting. That works for me because I
Yeah,
go on Sundays or Mondays, so
okay,
Saturday's perfect.
all right, so yeah, 24th, 1 a.m. to 2 p.m. be a board meeting. And then the public meeting will begin directly after the board meeting. And then we're looking for nominations. People interested on being on the board next year. There will be 2 vacancies. And I suggest is anybody who is in the running, but maybe does not get selected, will be kept. The name will be kept for any future vacancies for that year. So if you're the third highest, get the 3rd highest vote, you will not be selected in July. But if a vacancy ever occurs, then you will be the first person considered. So that's how we've been doing the last few years, and I think it's worked really well because the people are voting for these people here. So, okay.
I'll
Okay.
check with the ladies that have volunteered recently to see if they might work the table for us again.
Yeah, and it's maybe during the meeting if anybody wanted, do we want to consider any other items other than the election, probably at that time on the public meeting?
Well, the next item on our new business, that might be something we want to
Oh, okay,
think about.
okay. Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to select the voting committee next month. So yeah, the voting committee, who's gonna be on the voting committee, that'll be selected next month during the public meeting also. So we're looking for nominations of, for those. And basically, it's just the people that are there for the election day that are accepting people's ballots and doing the actual counting. And at the end, they would have to tally up all the votes and provide them to the board in the July meeting where the new board meetings will be announced, the new board members will be announced. So that'll be done next month also.
I was looking at that next item underneath there. We
Yeah.
had talked about having a discussion about the 4 lot due situation where people are buying up a bunch of lots and we're losing income because people out there have a multitude of lots. And we're losing income because of that 4+ lot rule.
Yeah, well,
Want to
that's,
think about changing that, changing the structure of where the lots lie. They have to be connected or something like that.
well, that's been brought up a few years. And, you know, last few years, I've heard this almost every year, but it's come to the point where it's getting worse, where we're losing
Yeah.
basically our dues base because more people are buying commercial quantities of homes. There's, as far as me, this is my opinion, there's a homestead, the property that you live on, and this is just me talking here, my view, but if the properties are all touching each other and your residences there, for me, that's a homestead. But some people have places all throughout the neighborhood. Maybe that's not considered a homestead, really. Maybe it's commercial quantities and people doing investments and things. So it's just something for people to consider. I mean, I'm looking for ideas too, because the way we're headed right now, our base is getting smaller every year, which means we're bringing on less and less dues every year. So we're going to have to come up with some kind of solution on that. Not everybody's going to be happy with whatever solution that the members come up with. It's up for them to really decide. So, but we can't keep going down the road we are now.
Yeah, I think we need to look at too that because, and I don't know all the numbers. That's something we probably need to put together, but it's something like $101 for 1 lot, and then it's $121 for 2 lots.
Yeah, some kind of algorithm. It was decided. Oh yeah.
So I mean that may be something to look at too, because that's not, you know, a $20 difference for 1 extra lot, but you know, yet that member gets votes all the way up to 4 lots.
Yeah.
So that might be something to look at too. But yeah, I mean, if people are, you know, if like investors are going to start buying more and more lots, I mean, I honestly think we're pretty close to the threshold now where we're getting to the point where dues money is not even going to be enough to operate, because you know, we don't have it coming in, because after 4 they stop paying dues on lots, and they've got 30, you know, 35, 40 lots.
Well, and
Yeah.
it's not just corporations. There are
No.
individuals that
Sure.
you know, have 30 lots and only paying for 4.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just, it's just not right, because I mean, yeah, it's a great benefit for them, but it's hurting the membership. It's hurting the community, because that's income that, you know, we're losing.
Right.
And I mean, I don't think,
Potential income that instead of one owner, 30 lots, you're looking at possible 30 owners and 30 dues being paid, you know, that's,
yeah,
I
and
think
I
something
don't
needs to
think,
be done about that.
yeah, and I don't think it should have, you know, like, I know there was discussion a year or 2 ago about changing the structure, and it, you know, it was brought up that if, you know, if I'm paying, you know, for more of my lots, then I should get more votes. And you know, I think in a sense that's true, but you know, if you break it down where, you know, say you have 10 lots, and so there's 6 of them you're not paying. If there's a percentage that you pay that equals, because you have enough lots, it equals a full due, then, you know, have some discussion on, you know, giving that extra vote. If they, you know, if they're paying that much more, they deserve something in return. As far, you know, as far as
I
voting
think
rights.
it'll be, I think June's a good time for some discussion on that.
Right.
You know, we had a lot of good discussion at the last meeting when the members came out, so I'm hoping
Yeah.
that
Yeah, and I think,
something there that more ideas to think about.
I think if we have all the numbers, the numbers for them, what's the difference between 1 to 2 lots and 2 to 3 lots and 3 to, how much the increase is each time. 'Cause I don't know them off the top of my head. I just know because of our lot situation, my one lot was 101 and the 2 lots was 121. And it's like, I just, a $20 increase for the extra lot. Granted, they don't use the roads more. They don't use the trash anymore, anything like that. But at some point, you have to start reeling in some of that discount because we won't have the money to operate.
Right.
So just looking for suggestions from the people at the next meeting, really. So.
Yeah,
And in the end, the people, the members are gonna decide.
True.
What's best, so, but we're looking for any kind of good suggestions.
I'll put it out there on the website and I'll send an email for anyone that has any items they'd like to discuss at the POA meeting for me to put on the agenda. So maybe we'll get some feedback from that. So we have a few areas of direction that some members specifically want to talk about.
Yes. Good idea.
Yeah, because that could actually be stuff like that could actually be put on the ballot in July.
Right.
Yeah, right.
So,
And yeah, but yeah, next month's the time when people can vote to add items onto the July ballot. That's your one time a year to say something, if it's important to you, and get enough votes, we'll get it on there. So,
I think it's our duty to get the facts out there and then let the members decide what direction they want to go. Because it's going to start getting dire if we have more people coming in buying multiple lots and we pretty much know what it's going to increase year to year some, but we pretty much know what the minimum we need is for dues money coming in to even operate and be able to pay for the trash, the utilities, all that stuff. We've been given that number. So, and it, of course, with inflation, it's going to go up a little bit more every year. So that's something we need to start looking at and get the facts to the members so the members can make the decision which direction to go.
Something interesting that I have found in the last 2 weeks is I had 2 properties that people called and said they were the new owners, and they started questioning things about what they could and couldn't do on the property. So obviously they hadn't done their due diligence before they bought the property. And 2 of those properties, once they were told they could not do a short-term rental and that they had to submit an architectural form for any structures or any improvements, I got a call on 2 different properties about a week to 10 days later. They'd already sold them because that was what their intent was to come in and do short-term rentals. So I try, if I get any kind of correspondence, call, email from these title companies, first thing I tell them before I give you any information, have you disclosed to them that they can't this, and this? And sometimes they have, sometimes they haven't. So I found it interesting that in just a very short time, 2 properties were bought and then they were sold immediately because they had intention of coming in doing commercial property.
yeah, well, I also had a new property owner that I was trying to get a hold of for the longest time. And the problem was the person who sold them the property didn't tell them what any of the requirements were, didn't tell us who the purchaser was. So they're sitting around waiting for us to we went to and paid our taxes in the county courthouse. And we're just waiting for you guys to send us a welcome package. Well, I don't even know who they are. I mean, because we weren't told that it was sold and to who, how to contact your people. How we supposed to contact you to give you information if we don't know who you are or how to contact you? So, but if you sell a property in this neighborhood, it's really your responsibility to tell them how to get in contact with us and let us know you're a new property owner, so we can get you to register with that folio, tell you where all the restrictions and hopefully you're reading the restrictions and all before you buy the property. That's due diligence right there. So, but like Susan mentioned, if you buy a property with the visions of putting a pig farm in and find out you can't put a pig farm in, well, that's really on you. So.
Well, also the same, Randy, as with all this tax sale coming up. I mean, you may get the property at a decent rate, but the back dues on it could be, you know, up to 10,000 or more on
Yeah.
just a piece of property. So you need to find out before you go to the sale, you know, what are the back dues on this piece of property?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Randy, what's the date of that foreclosure auction? Do you know? Is it
June
June?
7th.
June
Okay,
7th.
June 7th.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
I actually made a sign up and I posted it right in front of the property. It's not professionally done. I wrote it on there.
Right.
The date, time, where it's gonna be, county courthouse, second floor. It's gonna be on 7th, 10 a.m., I believe. And it's 2 lots, A49 and A50. It's up for a sheriff's sale. You're gonna have about approximately $4,000 or whatever they make. It's gonna come back to us because that's the money that is owed to the POA. Anything above that, I want to say the county keeps that and hands it out to like nonprofits and all. But 2 lots, water, septic on them, mostly flat on top, maybe a little heavy on the driveway, but they could go up for 12, 13,000 or more, you know, depending how bad they want them. So, and then we had the rest of the lots that are up for tax sales. That's going to be in June. And I want to say the location of that's probably going to be the county. It's not the county courthouse. But there's a different location for that. It's also going to be a cash sale for any tax sales in the neighborhood in June. So I put the information out there on Facebook already, so people have already started looking at them.
I've had some calls, people calling and asking, do they owe anything? Yep.
That's
they
why I
do.
told them to do diligence. Every person on there owns at least, I think the smallest amount is like $200, and I want to say the biggest is somewhere around 6,000. So yeah, there
The
are.
lot next to me, it's like $7,000 for back dues on one lot.
One of them has those all over 7,500. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so know what you're buying, folks. We talked about this before, but I know that the one where we won the judgment on, that's gonna have a sheriff's sale, A49, A50. We did talk one time about this about a year ago, that if we did sell that property, we were gonna use the proceeds to work on other properties in the neighborhood, you know, kind of keeps feeding itself to take care of some of these properties that owe lots and lots of money that they're never gonna pay on. I think at least one at a time, we probably need to hit some of the worst properties and just keep continuing to take that money, keep rolling it over to the next property. But no way we're gonna do 4 or 5 properties at the same time.
No, we can't.
But-
Not at the same time.
But we need to start hitting some of the worst properties where they owe a lot of money. And we need to get the property back and get some responsible owners to own them. And so we can get the revenue rolling again on them. So what do you guys think about that? It was brought up before, probably like last year.
So you're talking, just for clarification, you're talking about taking like the proceeds from the sheriff's sale lot and using those proceeds to foreclose on
On the next one.
the next one and just keep rolling that way.
Yeah, I know one property that owns like $12,000, but they're never gonna pay that off. So.
No, they're never going to pay it.
Well, and my concern too is that, you know, you've got these lots that are going up for sheriff's sale. And I know at one point the dues, if they were bought, or I'm sorry, a tax sale, the dues were waived if they were purchased on tax sale, because we've purchased a lot that way. And so I don't know when that changed, but my concern with that is if the county holds them, they're just going to sit there, because there's like some friends of mine bought some lots across the road from us, there's one lot dividing the two lots that they have that the county owns. They actually have to pay the county some type of fee to get it put on the tax sale to be able to purchase that lot. So once the county takes control of the lot and say nobody buys them, the county takes control of that lot. I mean, you're not getting any dues off of that one. And
Yeah.
the county will just sit on them.
Well, the county has to own that lot for 3 years before they can sell it. So it kind of ties it up for these 3 years, yeah.
Yeah, and this one's in that thing, but they were told they had to pay some type of fee to actually get it put into the to the sale.
Hmm.
And then I mean they would recoup that money if if they didn't win the auction,
Yeah.
they would get that money back. But just to have it put in the sale after the county owns it, somebody has to pay
I know that, yeah, the county does charge a transaction fee
transaction fee.
that they get, yeah, for selling these properties. I want to say it was only like $240. Yeah, I want to say, I remember being. But they usually recoup that during the sale day. They'll take that
Right.
off top. So,
Yeah, like I say, just my concern though that if there's, like Lucinda was saying, there's if they go down there and they buy a lot for $1,500 and it's got $7,000 worth of back dues on it, now they're in it for $8,500. And if they know that $7,000 is out there, are they even going to buy the lot? Or is it just going to get turned over to the county and sit for 3 years? And then that's 3 more years that we don't get dues on it.
yeah,
And then somebody has to pay to put it in the tax sale. And it just, you're talking about stretching that out for 4 or 5, could be 4 or 5 years before you even get one due paid on that lot.
well, yeah, this problem started years and years ago. There should have been a set amount that if they owed beyond a certain amount, that it was foreclosed on. Because
Right.
they're never going to pay this off, and
Well,
you're
yeah.
never going to get back all the money that was owed on that
If the
lot.
amount of dues on is more than the property value, yeah, you're
Okay.
not. Yeah.
All right, okay, so we can. It's probably better if we get this in next month, because I want to make sure it's advertised correctly, everybody. But maybe
Sure.
put a vote up next month that's saying any proceeds we make off of it should be around $4,000 we get. But if we make the $4,000 off the share sale on those 2 properties up there, that it's going to be rolled over. We're gonna together we are gonna pick the next lot to foreclose on, and then use that money for legal fees. And we always get that legal fees back when we get our judgment, because we get what they owe us, plus we get the legal fees back in our judgment. So, but just keep rolling it over and over, and eventually it might take years, but we'll get some of these lots sold to responsible owners, and that can do something with them. So, but I'm up for having that maybe on our next board. We can decide that then. I just want to make sure it's advertised where people know. So if it sounds like a good idea or not. But so start looking around the properties and figure which one. Maybe it's the one with the higher dollar amount. I don't know. It's up to you guys. So, okay, we got anything else for new business?
I think that's all I have.
Yeah.
I have nothing.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, I just want to say again, thanks for all the volunteers out there doing good things for the neighborhood. And I hope to see everybody at the next public meeting next month on the 24th of June, approximately 2 p.m. You got any nominations for the board? Make sure if you nominate somebody for the board, okay, first one, that person has to be in good standing. Well, first of all, you can't nominate anybody if you're yourself are not in good standing. So, all right. So you got to be in good standing. You got to nominate somebody in good standing also, and that person has to accept the nomination. So just remember that. So, okay, I think we're done. Can we get a motion to end this meeting?
Yeah, and I'll make a motion, but just real quick, I did get a message from a neighbor that says they have a T-post driver I can use. So, but I'll make a motion to close the meeting.
Okay, we have a second.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor of ending this meeting, say aye.
Aye.
We got 4 ayes. All right. Good meeting, guys. Thank you.
All
Thanks.
right, have a great